Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dory and today I'm going to talk about hacks that can make your hike a lot more comfortable if you know them. I've been hiking for a lot of years and still every time I go on a hike I learn new things. All these things that I mentioned in this video are from previous experience or from people telling me about it, and I'm so grateful to learn. And it's just always nice to listen to other people because they might have the solution to your problem. Alright, the first thing you should always do is cut your toenails. Now this might sound like a very simple trick, but trust me, it's really easy to forget. I would always advise you to never forget to cut your toenails before you go hiking because it can make your hike a lot more comfortable. So cutting your toenails will help prevent pain that you will get from having your toenails rub against the front of your shoe. And worst case scenario, you will end up with a blue nail. And also you don't want to rip a hole in your expensive hiking socks because you have long toenails, okay? The second thing you need to do as well is always test your gear before you go. It might be a new tent or a new pair of shoes or a new sleeping bag. It's always good to test it before you go. And I don't mean that you have to go on an overnight hike just to test your tent, but for example, you need to know how to set it up, you need to know how it works, and you need to know if it will be sufficient for the conditions of the hike that you're going on. So one time I was in Scotland on the West Highland Way and I just bought a new tent, and I made all these mistakes myself, and I went there my first night and everyone was just looking at me like, what is this girl doing? And honestly, I had no clue how to set up my tent, and it's actually the same tent that I have today. But the first time I set it up, it was so complicated and it took me probably an hour. It was getting dark and just people came over to help me and stuff like that. But just to prevent that from happening, and imagine if you didn't have any help, I know it's not difficult to set up a tent, but it can make your hike a lot more comfortable if you know how to set it up in the first place, and it will take you a lot less time, okay? Same goes for a sleeping bag. If you buy a sleeping bag, just take it out of the packet, make sure that it's long enough, make sure that it's thick enough, and make sure that you're happy with the material, because after you've been on a hike you can't return any materials. Okay. And that brings me to another point, is to always select the right gear. So I've done another video about how to prepare for your hike and what you need to know before you go hiking, but one of the things is always bring the right gear and always know the environment that you're going to hike in, and always be prepared, okay? So there might be rainy conditions, or it might be a very unpredictable area in terms of weather, or you might be in the mountains. Just always prepare yourself for the conditions of the trail. And that comes the same with getting the right shoes, okay? It's a different topic altogether, because getting the right shoes is so important, not only to prevent blisters, but to prevent pain and to prevent discomfort on trail, okay? If you get the right shoes, it'll make your hike a lot more comfortable. Then another hack that you can do is, let's say you don't have a watch, or you're too lazy to get out your phone to see what time it is, or if you want to know how much daylight you've got left, you can just look at the sun and use your hand, and every finger that you have between the horizon and the sun is supposed to be 15 minutes, okay? So that's how you can measure how much time you have left before sunset, okay? And before it gets dark, actually. After the sun sets, usually you have about 15-20 minutes of light still, but then after that it will be dark. So another easy trick I want to tell you about is, sometimes your gear has sharp edges. Now, you do not want those sharp edges to puncture a hole in your sleeping pad or in your down jacket, whatever it is. Okay, so always protect the sharp edges of your gear, and you can do that easily by wrapping it in a plastic bag or in a t-shirt. And I'm specifically talking about your cooking gear, because usually most cooking pots or stoves have like sharp edges somewhere, so always prevent them from damaging your other gear. An easy trick to apply to make sure that you will finish your hike and that you won't give up is hike your own hike. So we've all heard this expression, hike your own hike, but it's so important you guys know that, because if you keep following someone else, or you just try and keep up with someone, or you just going too slow, your mindset will be a lot different than when you hike your own hike, okay? Imagine if you are planning to do a hike with someone and they're a lot faster than you. How much more enjoyable would it be if you just end up at the same spot at night, but during the day you just do your own thing? It will make it so much easier for the both of you, and it will make camping a lot more enjoyable. Something very important I want to mention in this video is cotton kills, alright? So I've mentioned this many times before, but something to never bring on your hike is cotton. So whether it's a cotton t-shirt, cotton pants, or cotton socks, or even a cotton beanie, there's an expression that says that cotton kills. It's not only smelly, but when cotton gets wet, it actually stays wet, and that is why they say that cotton kills, because cotton absorbs the moisture, but it doesn't actually dry fast. When you're wearing a wet t-shirt, it's very easily to get hypothermia or to get cold, and yeah, we don't want that, okay? Even if you put an extra layer on, if the base layer is wet, it will not do you any good. Some of you will go hiking abroad or somewhere in a different state and you have to fly there. Now, what you have to do then is just prepare for your flight, obviously. There are certain items that you can't take on board, so if you're counting on taking your pack as hand luggage, there's a few items that you need to exclude, and I've heard a lot of stories about people that forgot about it, or just, you know, they buy everything, and such as, you know, your gas canister, you can't bring that on board, obviously. But it's just very simple things that help you prepare for your hike. On our last trip to Scotland, me and my brother actually forgot to take out the water out of our bag. So we go through security, and security really like takes out our bag like we've done something wrong. And we were like, what's in there that is so bad, right? And all the way on the bottom there was 2 small bottles of water that we forgot to take out. So they don't think it's funny at the airport. Certain items will not be allowed in the cabin, such as your gas canister and your stove, your knife, for example. So I usually don't bring my luggage as a carry-on, so then I have all the items that I need, apart from the gas, because you can't fly with gas, even if it's checked in. And what I usually take as a hand luggage is just a plastic bag, or just like a simple small bag that you can throw out after, or if you don't mind carrying it, just carry a very lightweight bag with you. Alright, that will save you a lot of trouble. Another life-saving hack, for me at least, and I didn't find out about it until like last year, is you can actually boil water, put it in your water bottle, and use it as a hot water bottle in your sleeping bag. Alright, so that's one of the tips that I actually give in my video about how to keep warm in a tent. And it's just so simple, but I had never thought about it until I saw someone do it. And I think it's the best thing ever. It's the best invention ever. So using your water bottle as a hot water bottle will keep you warm in your tent, and it will make your life so much easier when it's cold. Okay, so that is just so simple, but I didn't find out about it until last year. I saw someone do it on a camping ground, and I just thought, wow, that was the most brilliant thing I saw all year. Alright, something that I also want to mention is this. So this is just a normal, it's just a simple seat pad, but it makes your life so much easier when you're on a hike, because it will protect you from wet surfaces. It will give you that extra padding when you're looking for a seat, and you don't actually have to look for a comfortable seat because you have it right in your backpack. This thing weighs 35 grams, and it's probably one of the better buys I bought. It cost me $5 literally, and you know, of everything I mentioned in this video, I'll put links in the description so you can check it out for yourself. And honestly, this is one of my pieces of gear that I would never hike without, because it's just so simple. Another brilliant thing that I actually discovered is when you're a lightweight hiker and you want to brush your hair, you need a brush like this, okay? But I don't like the weight of these things, so I actually had an older brush, and I took this bit out, and that actually served as a brush. It does the job so well. I'm so proud of it. It weighs 8 grams, and it's probably one of the best hacks that I have for lightweight hiking. But it just, for all the women out there, it's just an easy way to bring a comb or a brush on your hike. So in saying that, so that is a tip on how to lighten your load. And when you want to be a lightweight hiker, there's a few other things that you can do to lighten your load. I will probably do another video on this, and you know, as I'm making these videos, I get more and more ideas of content that I need to get out there for you guys. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up if you like this information. Before I go, I'll give you another tip on how to lighten your load, and that is very simple: cut your toothbrush in half. A lot of people laughed at me in the beginning, but I think it's just so simple. Alright, so this was a very short video about a few hiking hacks that I wanted you to know about. There's probably a few more videos about hiking hacks coming. I hope this information was helpful to you guys, and as always, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and check out the other content that I have, because I have so much information to share with you guys. Alright, but for now, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Now I'm going home and I'm gonna edit all this.